it's Claire Riley Entrepreneur, and today I'm going to talk about outsourcing and all the things that go along with outsourcing. So I actually listen to quite a lot of podcasts, and a lot of business people will say that it's really important to outsource, and obviously there is a cost to that. And I would have said, oh, you can't afford to outsource if outsourcing is very expensive. But a lot of the time they will say you can't afford not to outsource. And here's why I now believe that it's true. At the time, though, probably didn't believe that it was true. But in the last 12 months, I've done a lot of outsourcing. So this time last year, I was actually pregnant. For the second time, and I remember what it was like the first time. It was really difficult on maternity, and still being the managing director of a company that I was also the owner of, it was tricky. And so this time round I wanted it to be different, so I started outsourcing things where possible. So the last 12 months have been a massive outsourcing journey for me, and I would say that things have got better. So just a quick rundown of what's happened. So I've outsourced inside the company and outside of the company. So when I'm saying outsourcing, that doesn't mean to say that every time it's a business, it might be a new role for a job that I used to do on top of all the other roles that I had. So the first thing I did, I used to look after the day-to-day production of everything that happened in Classroom Secrets. And so I handed that over about a year ago now, and my production manager Sian looks after all that side of things, so that really helped me step back. Now, you might have heard the phrase working on your business instead of in your business. Well, I think that I'm at a stage now where I only really work on it and not in it. Sometimes I do when I have to upload at a weekend, that hasn't happened for a while, which is brilliant. But it is good to sort of keep that in mind, that if you're wanting to grow it, you need to work on it rather than in it. So I was trying my best to sort of pull myself out of it, because there were so many cycles where I would be in it for 5 weeks and out of it for 1, and in it for 5 weeks and out of it for 1. So that was the first thing. The second thing that I did was I got a HR company to look after the HR, and I also, as well as that, made a new HR role. And we've got somebody to look at. I've got a HR manager now, which is brilliant, who also looks after health and safety. So that's brilliant. But having the company as well, it just means that if you don't have to have the knowledge, you don't have to have the expertise, they're just on the end of the phone, they can do the work for you. Yes, you have to pay them, but do you know what? It's really worth it. It's absolutely worth it. It gives us all confidence. It gives my HR manager confidence. It needed outsourcing, so that was the second thing that we outsourced. Customer service, because Ed wasn't in the company at the time, then customer service, ultimately, the buck stopped with me. So when Ed came into the company, I gave him customer service because I'm so kind. To be fair, he did want it, and he did have more experience in it than me. And then he recruited a customer service manager, and he got things sort of running differently. So that was really, really good. Something else that we outsourced, so all the website work was really done, the day-to-day stuff was done by the upload team or me, and also Ed, but we outsourced it to somebody coming in who would sort out the website and look after that. So that was another outsourcing thing we did. So really I was kind of handing it all over all the time, which is brilliant. One of the most recent things at home, I've actually got somebody who cleans the house, which is, that is helping, because obviously it is difficult to do it when you're trying to run a company at the same time and you've got 2 children under 3. Really tricky, especially when you work full time but you're still at home for 2.5 days. I don't really know why I did that. But anyway, it's all good. So that's something else we've outsourced. And most recently, just this week, this is why I decided to talk about this today. So somebody that was in the company before, she applied to be our personal assistant, so we do share her, but so far I'm the one who's given her valuable stuff to do. Don't know what Ed's done. So yeah, it's been good this week. I feel like I've just been able to give her things that I don't, maybe I'd think of it because I'm always thinking all the time. Sometimes I'm thinking when I'm in the shower, or I'm thinking when I'm getting ready. And I think, oh, that'd be a good idea. But then I drop it because I know that nobody has a chance to take that up. Whereas I can just sort of ping that across, and that means that I can get those reports that I need so that I can move the company forward, and I can sort of follow up on that little thing because I now have somebody who is able to do that for me, who has that time. So that kind of has been a bit revolutionary. So yeah, I'm liking it already, especially as seen as I'm thinking of all the good stuff and Edward's not really thought of much, or really she's just mine. But anyway, so since my outsourcing journey began, I just feel like the company's firing on all cylinders. So there's so much going on these days, and I am really out of the doing, and I need to be really, because all the departments are sort of spinning so much faster. I need to be able to look carefully at them all and sort of be out of it. So it really is important. And I know for a fact that if I haven't had outsourced all those things, that the company wouldn't be firing on all cylinders like that, because we wouldn't have those people in place. So we wouldn't have the expertise in those areas, and they wouldn't be able to focus on it properly. So I think that's good to remember. I should have done it earlier, and I thought I couldn't afford it. But actually, if the person's good, then they will create their own wage anyway. So that's just something to think about. Or even if you can only outsource half of it or whatever, it's definitely worth considering. And I wish I'd done it sooner, because you actually can't afford to not outsource.